Alright, so this is a project I've been working on for a friend of mine. Her dad's birthday is coming up and she wanted something custom made for him. She had an idea about a plaque that he could hang on the wall. And she wanted the plaque to look like this tattoo. It's around her dad's wrist. So to start, I'm just taking one of those triangle shapes, these 3 sevens pointed towards each other, and sketching it out. Actually kind of a tricky design to draw. And after some brainstorming, we came up with an idea that this plaque's gonna have a wooden base, and then those 7 shapes are gonna be made out of metal, and they'll be lifted off of that wood base a little bit to add a little bit of dimension. So now I'm making a full-scale drawing of what this thing's gonna look like, kind of trying to figure out what the proportions are gonna be and the gaps in between the pieces and the overall size of it. Once I got to a point where I liked it, now I'm in AutoCAD. I'm only gonna be creating line drawings of the different shapes for this project. The first thing I'm doing is basically redrawing what I drew on paper. So have all these lines intersecting parallel with the sides. And then from that you can extract this shape, or these shapes, and it looks similar to what I drew on paper. So this first piece I'm getting out of here is going to be the line drawing for the wood base. This next group of parts is going to be an in-between layer. I'm going to make it out of aluminum. And then these last 3 are going to be the top layer, and those will be made out of stainless. And that'll be the majority of which will be seen. The in-between layer is just there for the stainless to connect to. Now I'm at my dad's shop, and I didn't have any planks of wood wide enough, so I got these smaller planks, and I'm just truing up one side so I can glue them together. Originally I made this table for a slot car track, but somewhere along the way it got converted to a table saw. I think it was more fun in the other configuration, but it makes money that way. Now I'm just gluing these planks together. And you can see there's a couple more set up there. The job is to make 2 of these plaques, but as I'm working my way through these steps, I'm doing enough for 3. That way, if anything goes wrong, I have spares and I don't have to go back and redo anything. So now I'm just cleaning some of the squeezed out glue before I start sanding. The power of editing. At this point it's finished with 100 grit and it was looking pretty good. Now I'm in the water jet building, setting up the plank of wood. And now you can see it's wedged in place and weighted down with steel blocks. And the water jet's starting to cut out the wood base. And it's driven, the path that the machine takes is driven off of those line drawings I created in AutoCAD. You can see how turbulent that water is below the wood, and that's why I have that piece of black plastic in there to kind of try to protect the wood from getting soaking wet, but you can see it, it was okay though, it dried out. Now this is the piece of aluminum and the in-between layers. You can see here how the pieces are wedged into the bed of the machine, these clamps. And now the machine's running. Now you can see the machine is running with the part and the nozzle underwater. And now the water is much more calm. So now I have the stainless piece in the machine. These steel blocks holding it down. The water under the material while it's being cut is very turbulent, so it's good to kind of try to keep it weighted down so it doesn't move. And I'm just following the cut with these toothpicks, wedging the pieces in place so that towards the end of the cut they don't get free and wind up in a spot they don't belong. And now I'm in the shop deburring the stainless with the belt sander. And then this inside, this tighter angle, I'm just deburring by hand with a file. It'd be a nightmare to try to get that into the belt sander. And these are going to be glued down, so I'm just scuffing up the backside. And here we got the aluminum pieces. These are going to be held down with a flathead screw, so I'm just making the countersink for those. And then after that, deburring it with the DA sander. So by this point, I only have 2 planks left because the first one I cut was to finish dimension, but I didn't leave any room to sand the edges smooth. So the next 2, I offset the cuts by about a 1/16, and then cut these aluminum plates I can put on both sides of the wood, and then I can sand the wood up to those plates, and I got a nice finish edge, and it's got a good dimension. And now I'm just tuning up the faces with the DA sander, countersinking the back of the wood. There's a little bit of super glue around those holes to prevent chip out. I'm applying the stain. And right about here is where I was wishing I had gloves on. But it wouldn't be very authentic if my hands stayed clean the whole time. And just wiping off the excess stain. They call it stain, and holy cow, that's what this stuff is good at. I'll just brush it on polyurethane. The hardware, low profile screws, threaded standoffs. Painting in black. And now I'm starting to assemble these pieces. And that plank, the finish on that plank on the right, I kept glancing at that thing thinking it was a Gibson Firebird in sunburst finish. I kept wondering why I was thinking that, because I don't even like that guitar, but and now I got these wood plates I cut. The lower one lines up with the outside of the wood plaque, and then the upper one lines up around the lower one. And once I get this epoxy in here, I can use that wood plate as reference for these. That way after the epoxy sets, they're all indexed correctly and the gaps in between are even and parallel. Now just putting that mounting hook on. And then the last bit of polyurethane. And there we go, they're all done.